Hello everybody, this is Lady Kaylah here and welcome to the Geekum. Today I am going to do a Game of Thrones related video, but before I start there's a couple things I want to say. One, this is like a analysis of the show. If you can't handle the fact that I compare and contrast the book to the show, then you need to get out of here. There's a difference between sitting here and complaining and a difference between actively and interactively comparing and contrasting something. So if you don't have the developed mind to handle and you're just going to sit here, the show's not supposed to be exactly like the books, get out of here. Go read some more books, come back when you have developed mentally. So, anyways, I know that the show is different from the books. Everyone I talk to knows the show is going to be different from the books. We just like to discuss those differences, and we either like them or we don't like them or we're neutral about them. That's perfectly okay. That's what intellectuals do. So now, let's proceed. I wanted to talk about some things that I mentioned before, and a couple of people have asked me, oh, what exactly do you find issue with this, or what exactly do you like about this? And because in my reviews I usually point out something and I give like a brief little oh, I like it or I don't like it, and then I move on. And so a couple people are like, oh, why don't you like this, or so on and so forth. So I decided to elaborate on a couple things that I have mentioned, and one of them is the Robb and Talisa thing, or whatever her name is. It does not stay. And I've mentioned briefly that I just didn't find the whole thing convincing. And so to elaborate on that, it's just, first off, with the Robb and the Talisa thing, they were going for like a romantic feel, like they were falling in love or they had really romantic feelings for one another. And I just felt like that wasn't convincing. I don't know if it was the chemistry between the actors. I just did not feel like they were like having a connection, or I don't know if it was the writer's fault. I don't know what was going on, but the whole romance between Robb and the Talisa thing was not convincing. And another thing is that the show has some problems using its time. I think that sometimes they focus too much on a character or a character's little mini story so much that they forget to put time in other characters' stories that need a little bit more development. And I felt that the Robb Talisa thing was one of those things where I felt like they could have done something a lot shorter and more to the point, and focused on other character stories. And I think the way they should have approached the Robb and Talisa thing was make a reason for why things are happening. And there's just nothing bugs me more than when I'm reading something or watching something and you can't pinpoint why the characters are doing something or what's going on. I hate when there's no lead up to what's going on, and I felt like that's what the Robb and the Talisa thing lacked. I didn't feel like it was convincing. I didn't feel like there was any understanding behind what they were doing. I think to wrap things up a lot better with them, they should have went for more like a lustful thing. You know, Robb's at war. He's not really surrounded by women. He's not surrounded by beautiful women. And, you know, he had a moment of weakness and he slept with her, and because of his honor and she, you know, the possibility of her being pregnant, and I think she has a title, so she's a lady, if I remember correctly. So his honor would be like, oh crap, I slept with her, now I have to marry her because, you know, she might be pregnant, or, you know, if she was a virgin back in these times, you know, it would be the honorable thing to marry her. So I think that would have been a lot more convincing if it was just, you know, like a kind of a fling, and then they, you know, they had like a moment of weakness, and then Robb felt, oh crap, you know, the honorable thing to do is marry her. And that would at least, you know, show us something about Robb's character, and it would explain, you know, why he married her. The whole romance thing, it was not convincing in my opinion. So that's the whole thing about that I didn't really care for or like. And I think that could have been wrapped up a lot better. This would have made things, you know, a lot shorter, and we could have focused on other character stories that need more elaboration. And that was my little problem with it. I don't know, a lot of other people, their issue with it is the fact that Robb forsook his vows in the first place, and I don't really have a problem with that because, you know, obviously, you know, that shows what kind of character Robb is, and it, like, develops the story further, as we will see, so I don't have a problem with him, you know, being with her, because that is a nice little twist to the story. I just felt like the whole relationship was off. It didn't, it wasn't convincing to me. That's the most simple that I can get it. So, what did you guys feel about the Robb and the Talisa thing? Just let me know. Did you like it? Did you like the way it was set up? What's going on? How do you feel? And discuss it in the comments below. I would love to hear it. Remember, I will be doing the Game of Thrones reviews weekly, as long as it's out, and I will be doing that for season 3. And also in the description below, there's a bunch of links that you can use to find me outside of YouTube. There's Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, whatever, and all that will be in the description below. So, thank you for your time. Bye.